Hey everybody, welcome to Variant Edition. Here today with John Secreto and Adam Lugabill to talk about HBO's new crime drama, True Detective. So True Detective airs Sunday nights, right?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock on Sunday nights. There's going to be 8 episodes total. We're about 3 episodes in right now. So the show is described as a anthology crime drama. So anthology meaning...
I never heard them describe it that way, but...
That's how the internet describes it. I read a few different articles called that.
Oh.
So I guess this idea of like anthology series is kind of, I think it's kind of new from like American Horror Stories, where there's a whole new story every season. American Horror Story reuses the same actors, or at least a group of the same actors, but True Detective is the plan is for all new actors every season, right?
I think so, yeah.
So this season stars Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and then there's a bunch of other people who are kind of familiar from other HBO shows and things like that in smaller roles. So the show jumps back and forth in time a little bit between 1995, whenever, I think it's 95, mid-90s, whenever these two detectives are working on a murder case, and then present day, I think it's 2012 is what it's supposed to be, where a new group of detectives are working on a case that's similar, so they're bringing back these old detectives to interview them.
I think I read something that there's actually going to be a third timeline. Is that right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's going to be somewhere in the middle of those things, I think, where...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet, but I think that's going to happen.
So let's start with Adam. So what are your initial impressions after the first couple episodes?
It's great. It's really... The atmosphere of the whole show is really engaging. It's dark.
Very dark.
The characters are very real, like in a very disturbing way.
Yeah.
I think the amount of time that they take to let all the characters sort of breathe in it is really interesting, especially in a show that's only going to be 8 episodes long.
Right.
They really are allowing you to get to know the 2 main characters, I think, really well.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying that aspect of the show a lot.
And it doesn't feel rushed at all. Like, I'm a little surprised when I think about there's only going to be 8 episodes.
Right.
That there's still a ton, I feel like a ton that has to happen, really.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, how about you, John? What are you thinking of it so far?
I like it a lot. I mean, it's one of the things that I talked to somebody else about, and I said that the show seems very ambitious, which I think is kind of what you're saying. Like, it's a lot to happen in the show, but it's really letting everything kind of slowly become what the whole entire show is going to be, which is, I think, pretty rare, especially for, like you said, it's only going to be 8 episodes. So that's really impressive, I think. Like you said, like the way that the show looks and the characters, and 2 or 3 episodes in, and it already feels like a fully formed like vision of what they want the show to be. So
Right.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit as I'm watching it, not thematically in that, but of BBC Sherlock, the way that every episode feels like a movie, kind of like. It's just all so well realized, and I feel like every episode is kind of like a complete project already, and it reminds me of Sherlock in that way.
It reminds me of the movie Zodiac.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Like it just has this very particular, like the setting and the time period and the switching back and forth in time, and that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
So.
I have a show that it reminds me of. It's quite different from the ones you're talking about. I think it reminds me a lot of Hannibal. Even though, well, first of all, because there's weird deer antler bodies,
right,
which
I had
is
the same
very
thought,
much like Hannibal, but more importantly, like the way the music in Hannibal sets up the tone is very similar to the way they use music in True Detective, and also just, even though Hannibal is very much about almost a case per episode, there's still one case that carries throughout the whole season,
right.
And the characters are given a lot of space in Hannibal too, which was surprising for a network show. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about Hannibal so much, but it's really
No, it's
good.
okay. I thought a lot about Hannibal while I was watching it too. And you usually don't like shows or movies that jump back and forth between timelines, right?
I don't really know.
Yeah, and it works really well in this show. I think that it's not going to be like, if you're usually not into that kind of thing, I don't think it's going to hold you back from enjoying it.
I think it's enhancing the suspense of the show, like
for sure.
Especially with Matthew McConaughey's character, he kind of like there's so much to see what happens between the 17 years or whatever that happens in the show that it enhances the drama of the show, and it makes you wanna which isn't always true. Sometimes it just feels like a crush when you're just jumping around.
Yeah,
that's why I usually don't like it. But
Yeah.
it's working very well on this show.
Yeah. Well, I loved it too. I was surprised. I was talking to Adam a little bit about how I didn't watch any trailers for it or anything. I just knew it was a show called True Detective that was going to go on HBO, and so I watched it. And I went into it expecting a show that was going to be more like a noir crime drama about like I don't know, like robbery and things like that, and not so murdery. Like really, like I didn't. This is really like Hannibal, or like it reminded me of this of like Silence of the Lambs as well.
Yeah.
And I'm a little squeamish with things like that. Like, really? So we've talked about it on the show before, but like if things get too violent too quickly, it can really be a turnoff for me.
Yeah.
And this happened with Hannibal. Like I love Hannibal. I thought it was one of the best new shows that was coming out this past year, and it was just too hard for me to watch it. It's like too upsetting. But this show, I love every second of it, despite that. So I think it's really testament to how engrossing it is. Like I just keep coming back to it. It's probably my favorite show that I've seen in the last couple of months. I can't think of a new show in this last year that I've liked as much as this one.
Yeah, so far. I mean, it's hard to say. It's only 2 or 3 episodes in.
Right.
It could shit the bed. But.
That's true. I've also.
I don't think so, but it could.
But speaking of it shitting the bed, I've been reading a lot of people online and certain critics have like theories that there's going to be like some big twist to the show, and I don't feel that way at all. People say like it's going to be like a Fight Club or M. Night Shyamalan-esque twist to the show.
I think that there'll be like cop show investigation kind of twists, but I mean, that would be really weird if that happened.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Right, because there's people online who are like convinced that Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson's character are the same person. Like literally Fight Club.
I will stop watching HBO.
I don't think that's the case.
Next time we do this, I will punch you both in the face.
So hopefully that doesn't be
No, I can't believe that will be true.
Cool. So yeah, Sunday nights, 9 o'clock on HBO. We all highly, highly recommend it. Definitely. If you missed the first few episodes, I would try to catch them on demand and get caught up. All right. Cool. True Detective.
8++.
We'll watch again.
We'll watch again.
Tom.
What's next?
What?
Are we recording?
Are we on?
It's all Illuminati.
Illuminati.
That's all I know.
That's what I was getting myself into. I was not talking about the Illuminati ever.
As if HBO had 3 different shows.
Louisiana. But 2 of them started with the word true.
Oops.
The third one also started with the word TR.
You can caveat as much as you want. It's what it is. I'm just telling you.
It's at least 3 shows in Louisiana.
Right.
You can say that, and then what you're saying is true.
I'm not gonna say it.
He wants to say it so that it's not.
Yeah, I think there's enough space up top now.
Yeah. Can we talk about Scientology?
That's okay.
More entertaining.
I don't talk about the Illuminati because that's a real thing. Look at this. Maybe our heads are floating.
Alright.
Good? Alright. It's okay.
I said what the fuck?
What the fuck? I guess.
I was interested in that.
Boards, games, things.
What? Let's be glad that that's not on camera.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm ready. Wait, what are we talking about? It's a little trivia question for all you readers out there.
So, no, we can talk about it later. It's Violent Last Man's and Sleeper Volume 1, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's not much. I have a lot more Adam stuff.
Yeah. Alright. Ready?
Yeah.
No, I mean, who knows?
Get your stuff out of your eye.
I'm ready now. Nope.
Now you think I have stuff in my head.
Everybody just take a second to care for their eyes.
A little personal hygiene never hurt anybody.
I don't think rubbing your
I don't
eyes
think
is
that's-
I don't know.
Hey everybody, welcome to Variant. Fuck you.
I didn't know that was the name of the show. Fuck you.
That's a different channel.
It's all a different show.
Completely different channel.
Yeah.
We're reviewing very different things.
Hey everybody, welcome.
Jesus, stop.